Alright guys, so today on Meka Makes, I am actually going to show you how to change the boot gasket in the front of the washer. Now, if you've had this problem like I have this problem where the washer actually leaks with every cycle, then it could be the boot that's in front of your washer. Now, this video is not recommended for people who have a front load washer that is still under warranty. This video is only intended for the front load washer owner, people who don't have a warranty. I'm going to show you some things that you can do to prevent that leakage. So grab your screwdriver. We're headed to the laundry room. Alright guys, so as you can see, my washer and dryer duo is actually stacked. So I'm gonna have to grab my muscle to help me get the dryer off of the washer. Some of the places that we have to access here involve the back of the washer and the back access panel here. So yeah, we gotta get this baby off. Alright, so as you can see, I got my dryer off of the washer just by removing some screws that were on the back side. The first few things that I want you to do before we prepare, I want you to go ahead and get yourself an old ice cube tray, and you're gonna make 7 labels. And I'm actually gonna disclose this in the comments section below. Your labels will include the trim piece, the top, the soap dispenser, the top console, the access panel, the door switch, as well as the front panel. All I did was I wrote them on little strips of paper and I placed them here inside of my ice cube tray. This will kind of keep you organized, so as we get ready to take the washer apart, we'll know exactly where the screws go. The next thing that I want you to do, I want you to go ahead and disconnect the electricity to your washer and turn off your water supply. Now we're ready to start. Okay guys, so the first thing that you'll need to do on your front load washer would be to remove this panel that would sit on the very back side of the top of the washer. Now, because my washer and dryer were stacked, this piece is actually already gone. And if your washer and dryer is already stacked, then I'd be willing to bet that this piece is already gone as well. So the next step would be to move to the back side of the top of the washer, where we're going to remove these 3 screws that are located here. And I'm gonna do that just by using my Phillips head screwdriver. Okay, so now that I've taken all 3 screws out and I placed them in the ice cube tray bin that says top, now I'm just gonna take off the top. You'll do this just by sliding it back about 1 inch and simply lifting up on it. Okay, so now that we've gotten the top off, we'll need to release the power part of the panel. You'll do this just by pressing in on the latch of the 2 notches that you'll find on the inside. Alright, so now that we've taken the top off, we'll simply remove the screws that are located here as well as here. And I'm also going to have you remove your soap dispenser tray, and there will be 1 screw located here. We do have slots in our little ice cube tray for the 2 of these, so just make sure that you keep your screws organized. So let's do that. taken off the power panel. Now we'll just go ahead and remove the access panel that's down at the bottom. There are 3 screws going across the very bottom. I'm gonna remove those and put them into my ice cube tray. Okay, now that we've removed the access panel, now I'm going to simply open up the door. And I'm gonna go ahead and take off this entire piece. It is held in place by 4 screws. I'm gonna go ahead and take that out. All right, so now that I've removed all of my screws from all 4 parts, now I'm gonna go ahead and remove the existing boot that's on there. I'll do that first by using a flathead screwdriver. Typically, you'll find the spring that is clamping the boot on is located down here at the 6 o'clock position. We'll first work that out and then work the entire clamp off. So here's my spring. Yeah, and as you can see, my clamp was actually really ready to come off. Okay, so I'm actually gonna use this baby again, so we'll set this aside. Okay, before you go yanking and tugging on this thing, all we're gonna do is simply take our Phillips and we're gonna remove these 3 screws that are located here at the latch access. So we'll place these screws right there in the cubby in our ice tray that says switch. Okay, so we're nearing some of the final steps. We'll simply need to remove the soap dispenser hose as well as the black hose. Now, there's no washer or anything that's connecting this here, so I'm just gently gonna remove that, as well as this black hose. I got it. Okay, so I'm just gonna take this off, as well as remove this little piece down here. Now I'm gonna make sure that I put these together inside of my handy dandy ice cube tray. And the last piece that I need to remove is this inside clamp. Now, to remove the inside clamp, I want you to take a permanent marker and I want you to mark where these 2 screws are actually located, or where the 2 bolts are located on the screw. This is gonna let us know when we get ready to put it back on exactly how tight we need to get it. So now that I have that, using my Phillips, I'm just gonna loosen this Phillips head screw. Now, I also wanna add, for this particular part, you're gonna wanna use a short Phillips head screwdriver, just because the weight may actually impede the access to you getting to the head of this screw. So now we'll just need to remove this from the boot. So now I'm just going to place this clamp to the side. Okay, so now that we've got the old boot as well as the clamps off of it, I want you to go ahead and clean this outer rim of your basin out, as well as using a pipe cleaner. You've got some water inlet spouts. I want you to go ahead and make sure that those are nice and cleaned out as well. So I've already cleaned my washer and cleaned out the holes here down at the bottom. So now I'm getting ready to install the new boot. One thing I want you to do is take a look at the boot just to familiarize yourself with it. So here we can clearly see this will be the connection where the soap dispenser hose will go, and then not even 6 inches away you should find this on the underside. So I'm actually just going to take my pocket knife and I'm just going to score a little cross right here, and that's going to allow me to be able to connect the hose. So I'm just taking a little bit of laundry detergent and I'm actually going to place it on the lip of my boot. This is actually going to help with the attachment. Alright, so you want to make sure that this part that you see here, the very first groove, is going to be what goes here, okay, on this lip right here. And you'll notice that our boot also has this extra bit of material right here. This material actually fits here in this space. Okay. Now this does take a little bit of patience, so we'll just take our time and get it on there. Alright, so that took some doing. Now we're going to go ahead and place our clamp on. I'm going to want you to go ahead and open this up all the way so that the clamp is completely open. And once you've got that completely open, then we'll slide this clamp into that inside groove. Alright, so now I've got mine open. I'm going to place this in, and I'm going to make sure that I place this just underneath the top weight of my washer. I'm going to place it inside of this groove. My boot is groovy, and I'm going to make sure that I can actually get to the screw head should I need to in the future. What's in there? I'm going to tighten this up, and then I'm going to reconnect my hose as well as my soap dispenser nozzle. Okay, so hopefully you found that handy that you have marked the screw, knowing exactly where you needed to tighten this. Now, the moment of truth. We're going to tug on this and make sure that everything is secure. If anything pops out, then you'll know that you need to redo this again, but it looks like everything is in place. So now I'm just going to attach the hoses. Now, this little push pin, I'm actually going to place it here. and it's gonna fit in there so that the notch right here fits into the tracing of the notch right there. Once I've pushed this down below where my two little indicator tabs are, I'm going to go ahead and place the original washer on top of it and push the hose back in. Get ready to put it back together now. All right, so I'm gonna get two of my front screws. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and place my screws here, and then we'll go ahead and fasten things here. All right, so for this one, I'm gonna get my door switch. Screws out. So now I'm pulling out my last two front screws, and I'm going to place those at the bottom. Okay, so the last part to this, we're just going to go ahead and get our new boot fitted around the existing door. So now we're on the home stretch. We're going to put the very last clamp on. This clamp is actually going to fit right here in this groove. So I'm going to make sure that my spring is going to be located right down here at 6 o'clock. Almost there. Alright, so this is our control panel. Alright guys, so today on Meka Makes, I showed you how to change out the boot, or the bellow, or the gasket. Those are all names that you'll find this part called online, by the way. We changed it out because our front load washer was actually leaking water all over the floor. So this activity only took about 45 minutes to an hour, and the only thing that we really needed was a Phillips head screwdriver. Now, just to remind you guys, this activity is not for you guys that have a front load washer with a warranty. Remember, you will void your warranty if you open up your washer. So call a service tech if you've got a warranty. That's it here for Meka Makes. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time.